Hello everybody, today we are here with Michael, who is a big dropshipper in AutoDS and working with a big numbers rule, and we will do this interview to really inspire you and give you some motivation and show you how Michael works. How are you today, Michael?
Excellent, buddy. Thanks for having me on.
Great. So I prepared some questions really to give our audience some motivation and show them how you work. So from your experience, you can share anything that you want. And first, if you can please introduce yourself. How did you get into dropshipping? Where are you from? How did you start?
Sure. I started dropshipping in 2016. I'm American. I live actually in Europe right now. I have a day job unrelated to dropshipping, but I've been a lifelong entrepreneur my whole life, besides the fact that I have a day job working for somebody else. But I've had a lawn mowing business. I went to college, sold that, did a bunch of things. And ultimately in 2014, I took a trip to Southeast Asia for a couple months, took some time off work. I wanted to travel basically, and I was looking for a way to pay for my trip. I met all these people that they were traveling. And so I came home and my girlfriend at the time broke up with me, so I figured it was a perfect time to figure out a way to make money online. The plan was to make money, quit my job. I had a travel blog for about a year. That was a giant failure. I got into Shopify high-ticket drop shipping, not the kind where you drop ship from, say, AliExpress, but actually you make connections with actual manufacturers. That was great. The problem was it was seasonal. And so then I got into a couple other things, affiliate marketing. And ultimately in 2016, I got into drop shipping. I started out without software. And I don't think there really was a whole lot of software back in 2016, at least not that I knew of. And that was a giant nightmare because I sold a whole bunch of stuff that was out of stock. And then, the prices were wrong. And I ended up finding Profit Scraper, which was a competitor of yours, which is no longer in business. I think I talked to you about that. And I started out, I think the first holiday I made $1,500 a month, and it was amazing. I mean, that was, just the idea of going from making $0 to $1,500 a month, talking about actual profit. It's the greatest feeling in the world. And then from there, it's been ups and downs, but I had a great last 6 months. I've made the most money I've ever made, really anywhere, but online. And it's the best. I wouldn't say it's the easiest, but it's the best business model to make money online that doesn't take a lot of experience. And eBay is the most forgiving platform, basically. So that's kind of my experience. I've run 3 stores. I'm down to 1 currently, but it's my main store, and it's doing great. And thanks a lot for your software. It's been the best software. I've basically used them all, and I'm not just saying that to kiss your ass. I mean, it really is. It's very good. A lot of the other softwares occasionally have, or oftentimes will have bugs and this and that. And any issues I've had with AutoDS has been fixed in a matter of hours without even saying anything. So it's actually really good.
Thank you very much for the feedback.
Sure.
And it's a really interesting story, but how did you study the dropshipping? Did you take any courses or you just started?
Sure. So I took a course. It was $20. I'm cheap, so I waited till I got a half off for it to be $10. It was Vu. I forget.
David Vu?
David Vu, yeah, David Vu's course back in July of 2006. I actually looked it up recently because I was looking to see when I purchased it. And I took that, and it was very basic at the time, but the fundamentals were perfect. It was by far the best $20 I've ever taken or I've ever spent. And then shortly after because he doesn't talk about software. And so I then went, and after I had problems, I went and sought out software. And so that was kind of my foray. and it's just been profitable ever since. So, you know, I've never moved on to anything else because I just think it's, I mean, to be honest right now, and I've spent a lot of time building my business, but I literally spend, I don't know, do you know of the book, The 4-Hour Work Week?
Yeah.
Yeah. I literally spend less than 4 hours. Now granted, like that's after years of building up my business and I have a team. And so it's not, you know, there'll be times where I have catastrophes and I spend a lot more than that. But right now, knock on wood, it's 4 hours. So it's great. I love it.
A week.
A week.
It's insane.
Yeah, I know.
I cannot spend 4 hours in AutoDS a week.
What's that?
I said that I cannot spend only 4 hours a week on AutoDS.
Well, I've got a couple employees that have been working for me for years, and they know everything in and out. Again,
how many VAs do you have in your business?
I'm sorry?
How many VAs are running your stores?
I have two. I just have the one store right now. I have two full-time, one on, one off. So they work 1 week for 7 days and they take a week off. Now, just to give you guys kind of an idea, my store has 60,000 listings. Right now I'm doing right around 150,000 in sales a month. A few months ago, it was more than double that during the pandemic, but it's kind of leveled out about 150,000. And I have those two VAs, and actually I have a third that works part-time. Right now, eBay has these issues with item specifics I'm sure you're aware of. And because I have such a big store, I have to go in and I have over 11,000 items that need corrected. So I've got one gentleman that works for me on and off, does projects for me. So that's what he's doing for the next 2 months. I'm sure he hates me right now because it's terrible. But so it's good for work, you know?
Yeah, sure. But so you have right now 60,000 listings in your store, in one store?
One store, yeah.
And it's Anchor subscription?
It is Anchor. I don't have the enterprise store primarily because they make you sign up for the year. And there's one guy I know that signed up for a year and then they kicked him off eBay and they still expected him to pay for the store for the entire year, which is crazy.
Wow. It's crazy.
Yeah, so it's and to be honest, it's like 64,000 listings is the break even for the enterprise store anyway. So I'm just a little under that. So
yeah. So anyway, it's better for you for now to be on the Anchor store. And do you pay for the Anchor store in the annual subscription, right?
No, I pay month. No, actually, no, I do. I'm sorry. I do pay the $299 a month.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because this commitment is much smaller than the 3,000 of the.
I can take a few $1,000 hit. It's just like that $20,000 or $30,000 hit they want to get you for that. It's not worth the risk.
Yeah, I see. So you said that during the pandemic you had $150,000 in sales per month. And
no, right.
What?
I'm sorry, go on.
Yeah.
No, I have right now I have 150,000 in sales. During the pandemic, it was up to $360,000 per month.
Oh, wow. It's crazy.
Yeah, I cleaned up. I'm telling you, I'm still shocked. I don't care. I made the net profit. This is after everything, VAs, returns, lost cases, just over 30,000 in 1 month. Now, granted, that was during like a world pandemic, so I don't suspect that to happen maybe ever again. But even now, so basically sales were good. And then the pandemic came and they're up here and they're back down to still really good. And because I think people's buying, the way people buy is going to stick online, because you had people who always are going to buy online. Then you had older people who didn't really buy online as much, but now they were forced to. And so now I think it's sticky. I think those buyers are going to stick. And to be honest, I don't think it's a better time to ever be selling on eBay. And granted, there have been good and bad times. eBay is very fickle. They can be a giant pain in the you-know-what sometimes. I'm sure you know this. But right now is by far the best time I've ever had selling on eBay. And it's just not, the sales are just there. I don't know what else to say. They're there. I'm not going to complain. I'm going to take my money, and it's great.
Yeah, you can
I think
see
that's
that
why you're doing
everywhere.
so good. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, yeah. You can see that everywhere in the stocks and in everywhere. We also saw like double in sales during the pandemic in AutoDS in general, like for the users. But right, so I guess right now you have like half of this. It means that around 15,000 net profit and like yeah, right.
It's actually, I'll tell you right now. It's right around. I know everyone likes numbers, so I want to be accurate. It's right around about 14,000. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
It's insane. So 14,000 in profits from 4 hours work a week and
4 hours a
60,000
week,
product.
right? And
Nice.
I don't want. I say that at the risk of sounding like those idiots that have those commercials about give us your money, you'll work 1 hour a week and make $10 million. Like, it's not like that. I mean, you have to to get to where I was, you're going to spend a year, maybe longer, building your store. But usually this is what I always recommend: spend 3 months building the store so that you learn everything, because you can't hire VAs and then just tell them to do something when you don't, because they're going to come back to you with problems and you're not going to be able to know how to fix it. So do it for 3 months. That's right about the time where you'll be sick of finding stuff to list. Hire some Filipino VAs or VAs from wherever, and then let them build your store, and you just work on the store rather than in the store. And yeah, I mean, if you work within a year, there's no reason that you can't expect a sizable income. Now, I'm not going to again say 30,000 or 14,000. I think I'm probably somewhat of an anomaly, but that's just because I stuck with it. It wasn't because I was smarter or knew something everyone else didn't. I don't give up. I'm stubborn like that, and it's a good thing and a bad thing. But in business, it's definitely a good thing.
So that's a great note for the audience that the results are not coming immediately, and you really should stick with the work and stay consistent, and that's the only way really to go. Do you still work in your daily job right now?
I do, and that's actually, here's some irony. I do, and I just got a notice 3 days ago from my boss that, so basically, I was transferred to Europe to work, and my boss said, hey, because of the pandemic and everything that's going on, we might send you back to the US next year. And I don't really want to move back to the US because a number of reasons, one of which I get a favorable tax treatment living outside the US. So out of the money I make, I pay little to no taxes. If I live in the US, I'd be paying a lot of taxes. So he said, hey, next June, you might have to go back to the US. And so depending on how the business is going, if it's still staying consistent, I might just quit my job. I'll probably quit my job, which is something I was planning on doing 3 years ago. But I'm finally at a point where I think I feel comfortable with it. So this is going to be my main income. I do have other side investments, but this would be the main income I'd be living off of. Don't
you think that if you leave your job, you can spend more time on the business and scale it even more?
Well, that's one of my plans. Actually, what I would like to do is, I have my store. I want to keep it the size it is, and I have a few reasons for that. But what I'd really like to do is I'd like to get 5 or 10 other stores, maybe partner with other people. I would run them. I would fund the business. I would do everything. I know there's a big push right now for Amazon automation, where they say, hey, give us your money, we will create your products, and they get all the money, you take all the risk. Something I've been thinking about is finding other people that I can work with I would run the accounts. I do everything. I mean, I would even fund the purchases. So there's no risk on anyone except for me. That's how much I'm confident with what I know. And if I quit my job, I'm probably partially going to move to the Philippines. I'm going to hire some more VAs, and I would like to build up 5 or 10 stores, start there, and from there just kind of grow, because I'm just confident. I mean, the business model works. There is a chance of you losing your account, but I think if you do it correctly, it's minimal. I just, in complete transparency, I lost one of my accounts recently, but it was, but it's a long story, but it's rare. I think if you run it properly, the chance of you losing your account is a lot less limited. So anyways, to answer your question, my plan is probably, if I do that, I'm going to expand and diversify, find other people that want to work with me. The problem is with managed payments, I'm kind of worried about how I could deal with stealth accounts. And so I'm kind of, I don't know, I've thought about the idea of just basically working with other people. Because here's the thing, I know a lot, it's an actual business. It takes work. And some people, family gets in the way. Some people, to be honest, are just lazy. Or, it's not the right business for them. I understand that, you got to deal with people. And so I've always thought, well, maybe I have the opportunity, since I'm motivated and I have the knowledge, maybe I could partner with other people. And it's an opportunity. I don't know. It's just something I've been floating around with, basically. And so to answer your question about expanding, that's kind of, I probably would, just for the safety of having multiple accounts rather than just the one main store.
Cool. It's insane. Yeah, sure. I would do the same, basically, if your store is running and making so much profit. So there's no reason to touch it instead of spreading for more stores. By the way, you interviewed me to your podcast that, by the way, we can add below this video. And you asked me to link you with other people with stores. Did you find someone? Did you start any partnership?
Oh, where do I start with this one? To be honest, I don't use social media very much. I think it's beneficial. I think it has its benefits, but to me, it's just a time suck. It's good to advertise your business and other things. Anyways, so I did reach out through, basically I went through your Facebook page and other Facebook pages and tried to connect with other people to basically push my idea. And I don't know if it's just me, but it seemed like there's a lot of kind of sketchy people that I was trying to get connected with. And then I would try to set up meetings, because to me, this business is professional. I'm 100% legit. I report all my earnings to the government. Everything's above board. And there's a lot of people, when I wanted to get on face-to-face conferences just to make a personal connection with them, they didn't seem interested. And I said, hey, what can you prove your account, what your limits are? And there's a lot of no, just trust me. And that's not going to work for me. I've been around the block, but I know there's a lot of people out there that I just have to figure out a way to make a connection with them. So I've spoken with 5 people now, and none of which it's worked out. I don't know if they're not motivated. Maybe I'm the one that's seen as being sketchy. I don't know. Maybe it's me. I don't know. But I don't know. If you have some ideas, please tell me. Make some connections.
Cool. So first I will connect you with some friends who have a lot of stores, and I hope it will help you. And also, we will think about it later, but maybe we can put a form below this video where people can leave their details to reach you or something like that, with screenshots of the store or something like that. We will try to think about it later together.
Sure.
But cool, it's a good way to expand, and you're really confident with what you know and do. So
yeah, I mean that's I have no problem using my own money, put up my own, doing everything, because I know, yes, there is the chance of, eBay shutting your store, or Amazon shutting. I mean, there's a risk anywhere in business. but I think you can minimize it. And like I said, my biggest value add is I don't give up. So, eBay in the last 3 years has changed, 4 to 5 years, whatever it is, has changed a lot. They have demoted drop shippers listings. They have given us promoted listings. They have taken away promoted listings. And so sales, do go up and down like this. But the good thing of that is when that happens, people get discouraged and they quit, which I'm sure is one of the problems you see with, being the owner of a software. And it's just normal. It's not that there's anything wrong with you if you do that. It's just a normal way of, I think I'm a freak, And so to me, I'm like, this is great because I know some people will quit, and that just, if I stick around long enough, I know my store will do better. And I think that's why it's done so well. And the people I know that drop ship their stores, it's the same thing. So, for those of you guys starting out listening, I promise you'll have a time where eBay kicks you in the teeth and you just want to quit. Take the day off, go out drinking, go on a date, do whatever you do. Then, come back and just know that there's very quickly, eBay is I'm sorry to ramble, I'll be really quick here. eBay is a $90 billion. They did $90 billion in sales last year. Of that, 80% of that is new items. So call it, say, 60 billion is new item sales. Of that, most of those are drop shippers. So say $55 billion a year are drop shippers. I go through, and these numbers come from somebody high up in eBay. So I know all this is factual. If a business, the number 2 website in America, does 55 billion, maybe 60 billion of drop shipping sales a year, if you think it's going away, you're crazy. I mean, you're crazy. We are their business. So, they might punch you in the teeth once or twice, but you just get back up. They can't kick us all off forever. It's just not realistic. So, people that say, is eBay drop shipping dead? $60 billion is all I have to say,
Yeah, I agree. eBay dropshipping is like any business. It's a roller coaster, and basically you just need to stick with it, and the up will come. Like, that's how it works.
Yeah.
But cool. I'm sure that after people will listen to this, you will motivate them a lot, which is amazing. With which suppliers do you work?
I only use Amazon. I used to use Home Depot. I used Home Depot for a while. And then when eBay did the update back in April of 2018, that kind of screwed me. But I used to have a connection with discounted gift cards, actually from the company that makes the gift cards. Actually, I guess I still do. There's a company that actually produces gift cards for Home Depot. So you're not buying it like through some sketchy website. You're actually, it's a Fortune 500 company. So I had negotiated discounts through them. In addition, they do it for some others. But right now I solely use Amazon because there's some issues with Home Depot at one point. Amazon just works. If you're an American, you can get, you get big discounts with certain credit cards. And then you can use some tricks. And so Amazon's the easiest. It's the most competitive, but there's so much traffic. I don't really worry about it. I mean, it's just, I know a lot of people say don't use Amazon because there's a lot of competition. And to me, if you're going to stick around for a while, I think it's just the easiest. But a lot of people use other, companies and they do well too. So.
Yeah, basically you have around 600 million products on Amazon. So I don't know if people say that there is a competition or not a competition, but you have 600 million different SKUs to use in your business, which is crazy. You need just 60,000 to make 15,000 in profits.
So it's 1/10 of 1% of their items or something, some ridiculous number, And I probably don't even have the best items, I'm sure there are plenty of other items out there that are just as good, if not better.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're fine with sharing, but if yes, How do you find your products? Any strategy that you can share or?
Yeah. Look, my opinion is real simple. Like I said, let's call it $55 billion of drop shipping sales on eBay. I'm not worried. I mean, I have an abundance mentality. So, yeah, I'll tell you exactly what I do. So, if I can remember off the top of my head, I actually haven't done it for forever. I have my employees do it, but I'll go in and find an item. Well, let me tell the easy way and I'll tell the hard way. Basically, I just go and find an item on Amazon, or I'm sorry, I go to Amazon, find an item with a lot of sales that has a very short title. And this will make sense here in a minute. So you just go to Amazon, item that has a short title, and I search it eBay, just in the search bar, and then those products will pop up. And the reason I do this is because I'm looking for someone that uses Amazon and as their source. And then I'll go in there and I will then search that product. Shoot, I just totally said it wrong. Well,
You go
further away, I'm
to
sorry,
eBay?
I'm getting all mixed up. Basically, I go to eBay. I find sellers that I know are using eBay or it's using Amazon as a source. And then I will just simply find all the products that they've sold. And, you know, if you're starting out, I would say find products that have sold, say 5 times. I just find any product that's ever sold. And I take that, I match it with Amazon product. I use that title, and then I use that ASIN, and then I upload it into AutoDS. And so most of my products have optimized title. You can simply use Amazon's title, but you're going to get, I did the math, I think you're going to get a third as many, you'll get 3 times more sales if you use an optimized title.
So you have optimized title for 60,000 listings?
Now, well, 20,000 of them.
Wow.
20,000 I do, and then the other 40,000 I used your auto finder for the other 40. When I switched over to your store, I had 20,000 listings, and I use your auto finder for the next 40,000. So wow. I know it's a lot more work, and I know people are going to try to find the easy way, but if you want this to be a long-term business, find sellers on, basically the easiest way is find sellers on eBay that use your source from the Amazon, and then just find their sold listings and just take their sold listings, match that product with your Amazon listing, and upload the title with the optimized title with the ASIN, which you can do in AutoDS, and just do that. And while it takes a lot longer, and sometimes you're going to have trouble. Actually, I left one thing out. Find a seller whose profits are larger than yours. So, I mean, I'm not going to say what my margins are, but or my markup, but let's just say your markup's 40%. That's a little high, but find a seller who has products. You know, just find a seller that's the way I just said, and then take 5 or 6 of their items, see what their margin is. And if it's higher than your margin, those are the ones I take and I basically scrape their titles and their listings. And after a while, once you get to the point of what I have, like 20,000, it takes a long time, but that's where your VAs come in, and you can just pay people. You pay them well and they do a good job, and it just builds over time. Like my store took me, I think a year and a quarter maybe to get 20,000 listings optimized.
So all of your titles were built by your team, or you copied it from other eBay sellers?
100% copied.
100% copied.
I haven't optimized one title myself, because here's the thing: most of the way eBay search works is it's not as intricate as Amazon. From what I can tell, it's largely based off keywords in the title. And if you find an eBay seller that has sold listings, you know that titles worked at least once. People have used, because most buyers use the same words to find a product, and that's the one that popped up with a reasonable enough, not too high of a price, So you can then go in, take that title, it sells, that price is reasonable, and yours is probably gonna be a little lower. So you undercut them. Now, I wouldn't undercut everyone really low. Just find a good price that works for you. When I start out, I would keep my margins fairly low just to get velocity of your account. And then you can raise your rates a little bit. That's all. I mean, it works. That's what I did in 2016, and it works just as well in 2020.
Amazing. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. What what are the issues that you faced in the beginning while you were scaling your business? Like now it's really huge, but in the beginning, I guess that you had some hard times to scale it. What was the the things that you really remember that was the hardest for you?
The hardest?
Yeah.
Well, again, when you start out for the first month, you'll make $1 or $2, and you'll be very excited because you made money online, and then you build the business. And after a few months, it becomes tedious, and that's where a lot of people quit. And the key here is when you get to the point where you're like, man, I don't want to scrape any more sellers and match up listings, or you're sick of dealing with customer service. That is the time where you then hire a virtual assistant to then take over the monotonous tasks. And that's how you grow, because it will get, after a while, it will get tedious. That's why I give my employees a week on, week off, because I don't, it's a tedious business, but everyone would want a week on, week off. That's a great schedule, and I can afford it. And, but in addition to that, when I was scaling, the problem is in the past 4 or 5 years, eBay, they'll change the algorithm and your sales will go way down. And so you'll be making, I remember at one point a few years ago, I was making $10,000 a month from one store, and then it went down to 1,000 profit. Or 2,000, something like that. And it was discouraging, and ultimately I had to lay some people off. But again, like what I realized when I went to rebuild my store up some. I want to add more listings. I took all the eBay sellers that I had scraped before to find their listings, and I was like, I want to see if they have new listings. 2/3 of them had quit. In a year and a half, 2/3 of them had quit. And so what that told me was, if I stick with this, that my competition is leaving because eBay will change the algorithm. eBay still wants to have sales. So someone has to get those sales, and they can't, demote the listings or punish all eBay sellers, because most of the listings for a certain product are just eBay sellers, drop shippers, I'm sorry. And so the problem I had there, is just, to answer your question, it's just pretty much sticking with it. And when you get upset, when you get, you're fed up, it's time to hire on help. And you can do that for, if you're not making much money, you can get a good VA for $500 a month. I mean, you get for less, depends what you can afford. What I would do is I'd build up my business till I could afford a VA. So once you're making $500-600 a month net profit after everything, I would instantly, rather taking that money, put in your pocket, I would hire a VA and just put off delay gratification for a while and build your store. Because I promise you, in 6 months, when you're making big money, you'll be happy. The problem is most people take the money instantly, they spend it, and so they don't have the money to hire a VA, and they just don't grow like they should.
I saw so many cases, I so agree with it, because I saw so many cases of dropshippers in AutoDS who were really successful. They started to make profits, and then they just decided to take all this money back home to their pocket, and then their businesses crashed because they didn't spend it back to grow and improve the business.
Right. And, and that's kind of what we're talking about before with how I want to grow and run other stores. I want to run everything. I don't want the people that, whether I get a store, whether I partner with someone with their store, I want to run everything, because I know, I don't want too many hands in the pockets. If I do it, I know it'll be, well, I can't guarantee it'll be successful, but I don't want to partner with someone who then wants to take the money and spend it I would rather just run everything, pay them their share. And if they want to spend that part, great. But we will always have money to hire virtual assistants. And I mean, I'm a business person through and through, just like you. And the truth is, a lot of people aren't. There's nothing wrong with that. And yeah, I think if I give advice, take that first $1,000 you make and hire someone. And you're giving someone a job too, so it's great. They'll be thankful, and if you can delay that gratification for 3-6 months, you'll trust me. You'll thank yourself. You really will.
I agree. Really, that's how, by the way, AutoDS also grow. Like in the first year, I didn't took anything back home. Everything was spent to improve the business and go forward. I think that's the only way to go in the beginning.
Yeah.
I will not take a lot from your time. Also, I will ask some final questions. How, like, you moved to AutoDS around half a year ago, from what you said, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what do you use in AutoDS to help you automate your business? Like, what does it do for you? And maybe we will have some tips for other people, how to save more time using the tool.
Sure. Well, like I said, when you start off, AutoDS it's an AutoDS Finder, I think, or is that what it's called?
The Products Finder?
Product Finder, yeah.
Yeah, the AutoDS Finder.
Yeah. So I use that to add 40,000 listings. I would not use that to start. I would use my method. It's slower, but you get a lot better listings. The way I do it, there's no way to automate the way I do it. You just have to do it manually. But I would start off with that. But I would start AutoDS from day one, just using it for your stock quantities, to monitor your stock, to monitor your price. And then once you build up your listings, then you can kind of switch over if you want and get more automated as far as defining products that Lior's software does. As far as I also use the auto order. I won't use any service unless they have an auto order. And for me, I'd say it probably gets 95% of my orders right. Less than 5% fail. And oftentimes that's not really AutoDS. It's because there's an address issue or there's some issue that's not related to AutoDS. So I also use it for auto orders. I know there's things you can do in AutoDS like messaging people and all of that. And it segregates maybe your employees from having to get into your eBay account. I trust my employees. They've always run it through eBay. So I know the options there. I don't have much experience with that, but I definitely, it's very important to have software that properly monitors your stock and your prices frequently. And that is one thing. There's other softwares out there as well. But I will say AutoDS is the best that I've used. I haven't used them all. I've used probably 5 of them. And it definitely, the stock monitoring, the price monitoring, the auto ordering, special auto ordering, and that works well because prices change, stock levels change, and you need to get in there and you need to order quickly. And that's basically what I use auto order for to automate the business.
Cool. Thank you so much for the feedback, by the way. Okay, so what will be your best tip for beginners, last tip that you can give them, people who just starting? Like you gave during the interview a lot of them, but the one that you would focus on and really start from there to scale and, improving the business.
Little steps. So, like I said, this business at times can be monotonous. At first, you're going to have the adrenaline so it's going to be easier. But if I would say, set an hour aside every day, say I'm going to do 5 listings or find 10 listings or 20 listings or whatever the number is, and set that time and make small little goals. Today you'll set up your eBay account. Tomorrow you'll set up your AutoDS account or whatever software you use. And the next day I would say I'm going to find 10 listings, and then 10 listings the next day. And so if you're like, hey, I want a store that has 60,000 listings and it's making 15 grand a month or 14 grand a month, it's unrealistic because you end up quitting, because that's going to take a long time. So if just, take 5 days a week, take maybe 2 days off. If you got a family, if you're a crazy crackhead like me, you'll just work every day. But take an hour or two and set aside and tell your spouse or whoever it is that's around you, say, hey, I really have this business. I want to build it. Please support me. Just give me an hour a day. And that way you have that time set aside. You're not overwhelming yourself. When it gets boring, you're not going to quit. And then commit yourself, I say, to a year, but at least 3 months, 3 to 6 months. At a very minimum, 3 months. 6 months, to me, everything I do is for at least a year. But give yourself at least 3 months, 1 or 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. And if you do that, I think you'll be hard-pressed to not find some level of success. Again, I'm not going to promise you you'll make what I'm making, or, I'm sure there's people who make a lot more than I do. But you will, I think you'll find a level of success enough to where you're like, this is great. Now I'm making $1,000. I hate doing listings. I hate customer service. I can hire someone else. You just do it step by step. It's manageable. That's not just eBay dropshipping, but any business you do. It's a lot better if you set it up that way. I think you'll find success a lot more often than if you just have one big goal and you expect to reach it by the end of the month. It just isn't realistic.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Michael, for
Right on.
all your knowledge and all this inspiration that you gave to people. And we will share below this video the link to your podcast for people to hear. And if you want to share your contact, if someone wants a partnership or any Google form, we'll talk about it later. And again, thank you very much. And everyone who wants to be interviewed also to this channel, you will have a form below this video where you can share your details. Don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel, like this video, and comment down with any questions that you have about the video. And again, thank you, Michael.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Bye.